Hey everyone, this is Dale Berkebile, and welcome back to the Tao review that I'm doing for Hellagood Life. So here's the thing. For those of you unfamiliar with the Tao Te Ching, the Tao review is me just kind of going through, reading one verse a week, doing some thoughts, reviewing it, and it's something that I share my thoughts. I share some other thoughts from some of the other translations that I'm actually reading to go through and kind of ponder each verse. But my name is Dale Berkebile, and this week we're on week 9. We're going to read verse 9, and my purpose in life is to challenge people to become innovative leaders so that we can change the world together. The Tao is a powerful Chinese book on philosophy, on how to live life, how to appreciate life, that sort of thing. Just be with the world, and it's pretty powerful. And so I want to share that with you, and I hope you'll join the conversation. I'm doing this for Hellagood Life because Hellagood Life is a platform that I created to help people live their best life. And so the Tao is one tool that you can use to live your best life. Now, that being said, I have been really reviewing Wayne Dyer's Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life review or book to review things, mostly because this is the first book that I was introduced to that talked about the Tao, and then I'll share some other versions. Lao Tzu is the author of the Tao Te Ching, and so there's a lot of different translations that you can read through, but Wayne talks about some stuff in a Western perspective, also gives some in-depth kind of look at things, which I think is sort of nice, especially for those that are new to it. I've been reading the Tao, trying to decipher the Tao, understand the Tao, apply the Tao, since I was introduced to it probably 6, 7, 8 years ago, I guess. And there's a lot of interesting things. Now, certain verses connected like that, but other ones it took a little bit to connect with. And so what I'm hoping we'll accomplish by going through this, hopefully together as you're watching these, is you'll share your thoughts down in the comments so I can hear what your thoughts are on the verse of the day. And I'm going to share what my thoughts are at this point. Now, if I read this, 2 years from now, I'm going to be at a different place, and so it's going to make different sense to me at that point, just because of the journey that we're all on. We all grow, we all practice in a deeper way sometimes, the more we are actually thinking about things and exploring how to practice or how to not do anything, which you'll understand as we do some other readings. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to read the 9th verse right now from Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life. And then I'm going to actually read another version because I think it kind of resonated with me a little bit. So let me go ahead and read here. The 9th verse. To keep on filling is not as good as stopping. Overfilled, the cupped hands drip. Better to stop pouring. Sharpen the blade too much, and its edge will soon be lost. Fill your house with jade and gold, and it brings insecurity. Puff yourself with honor and pride, and no one can save you from a fall. Retire when the work is done. This is the way to heaven. Okay, so again, that's Wayne Dyer's translation. I think there's some interesting things there, but I want to read. This is actually a copy that I found at Barnes & Noble. I've read a few different versions, but I like this translation of this verse. And I'll share it here real quick with you. To hold until full is not as good as stopping. An over-sharpened sword cannot last long. A room filled with gold and jewels cannot be protected. Boasting of wealth and virtue brings your demise. After finishing the work, withdraw. This is the way to heaven. Okay, so here's the thing. You know, if we want more, a lot of times we want more. And so let's think of the teacup as the first line. If we keep pouring, right, it overflows. And what good is the tea to us, if you're a tea drinker, if it's overflowing and spilling onto the floor, right? So it's best to stop and appreciate what we have. And so how does this play out in the bigger scale of life, right? Is it by continuing to pour and feel like we're going to get better joy, happiness from continuing to pour? Or are we going to be able to find a cutoff point where we stop and we're content and we actually enjoy what it is we have? What are your thoughts on that? Share your comments below. Can you relate with that? In a world where excess is part of the game, it seems, in society today, are you able to cut off? Are you able to have contentedness? Are you able to find gratitude in what you have and not need more all the time? The other thing is, are you able to stop and be present in the moment? This is where meditation or mindfulness may come in, right? Can you stop and not need a constant flow of life, but actually stop and be present so you can appreciate life instead of letting it run right by you? Something to think about. Okay, an over-sharpened sword cannot last long. So any of you who have actually sharpened a knife or a sword may know that you have to sharpen it to the point of, to a good edge. But if you over sharpen it, then it actually dulls the blade. And so, again, this is kind of an excess thing. Do we push things to the limit or just learn to stop? A room filled with gold and jewels cannot be protected. And the interesting thing here is the more stuff we have, the more people know that we have lots of stuff, right? We have a big house and we have, big home entertainment system or stereo equipment or, guitars or whatever it may be. And the more people know about that, the harder it is to protect our home and our stuff, right? So again, overpouring or excess is actually making our lives more difficult potentially. Again, boasting wealth, and virtue brings your demise. And so do we get robbed? Does someone, break into our house and steal our stuff? So bragging is something that they're telling you to kind of ease up on. They're telling you to be present in the moment and that sort of thing. And, after finishing work, withdraw. This is the way to heaven. And so anyhow, some good thoughts there, something to think about with this stuff. And I'm going to share a couple thoughts about Wayne Dyer talks about right here too. This chapter is all about living humility. And so can we just be humble in our actions? Here's what Wayne Dyer says that I thought was kind of interesting too. Seek the joy in your activities rather than focusing on ego agenda. Ego wants you to gather more and more rewards for your actions. If you're in a state of loving appreciation in each of your present moments, you're letting go of the absurd idea that you're here to accumulate rewards and merit badges for your efforts. Seek the pleasure in what you're doing rather than in how it might ultimately benefit you. Begin to trust in the infinite wisdom that birthed you into this world. After all, it knew the exact timing of your arrival here. It didn't say, if 9 months will create such a beautiful baby, I'll extend the gestation period to 5 years. Now we'll have an even more perfect creation. No, the Tao says that 9 months is perfect. That's what you get. And you don't need any more time. The next time you're mired in desire for more, stop and think of the Tao. This creation principle fully grasps the idea that when the work is done, then for God's sake, it's time to stop. As Lao Tzu advises, this is the way of heaven. Why ever choose to be in conflict with that? And so, I mean, what are your thoughts on that? How do you feel about being humble? How do you feel about I've been preaching this lesson related to what I call the Hedonic Treadmill. So if you've seen any of my blog articles, I talk about the Hedonic Treadmill, the rat race, the happiness set point, hedonic adaptation, all these kinds of things related to happiness and chasing and craving and all this stuff. And it's one of those things where most of society is saying, I mean, especially marketing and advertising that you see all over the place is telling you more. You need more. And are you able to stop? A funny part of this is I've actually been going through a mindfulness eating course, and it has allowed me to start to think about when I'm eating, how to be mindful, how to be present in the moment, how to notice when I'm hungry. At what point do I say, okay, now is the time to go and eat? And then as I eat, I take slower bites. I actually chew longer. I'm thinking about things. I'm actually enjoying the present moment of whatever it is I'm eating or drinking. And then I'm also being aware of, okay, when am I full? And because it's taking longer to eat less, I notice when I start to get full, and then I can actually stop. It's really a pretty amazing thing that, we just eat and eat and eat oftentimes, enjoy and love whatever it is, the flavors and all that kind of stuff. But how often do we overeat? In America, that's quite often. I think it's probably around the world is something that we struggle with. Eating in excess. And so anyhow, it's kind of an interesting thing. Think about that. What are your thoughts? How do you live your life? Do you ever catch yourself in the act of excess, going beyond, dulling the blade, spilling the tea? Well, anyhow, I appreciate you joining me on the journey. I appreciate you watching this today. And I will share the verses down below like I always do every week. And I ask you to share your comments related to today's topic. And if this is something that you like, please, smash the like button, thumbs up, whatever. There's a video right here that will come up. I think it's right here, maybe. That will be other videos that you might like. There's also a subscribe button over here, I believe. So click that and subscribe to the channel if you would. And if you know anyone that is maybe interested in this stuff, then please go ahead and share the video. And I thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Peace, love, and respect to you, my friends. Have a great day.